Have you ever wondered how much power Big Pharma really has over your health and your wallet? The pharmaceutical industry, or Big Pharma, presents itself as a force for good, delivering life-saving medications, funding groundbreaking research, and driving innovation in healthcare. But behind the glossy ads and billion-dollar campaigns lies a darker reality. Big Pharma isn't just about health. It's about profit, power, and control. From price gouging essential medications to manipulating research and influencing public policy, the pharmaceutical industry holds an unsettling grip on both our health and our wallets. In this video, we'll uncover the hidden truths and explore how Big Pharma's influence extends far beyond the medicine cabinet. Stay tuned as we delve into the world of Big Pharma and reveal the impact it has on our lives. Let's start with drug pricing, perhaps the most glaring example of Big Pharma's greed. The United States pays more for prescription drugs than any other country in the world, and the numbers are staggering. Take insulin, a life-saving drug that's been around for over a century. In the United States, a single vial can cost hundreds of dollars, even though the production costs are estimated at just a few dollars. For many diabetics, this means choosing between life-saving medication and basic necessities. But how does Big Pharma justify these prices? The industry often claims that high prices are necessary to fund research and development. However, studies show that a significant portion of revenue goes toward marketing and executive salaries, not innovation. Why are we footing the bill for ads that tell us to ask our doctor about drugs we might not even need? And if these prices keep climbing, how much longer can everyday people afford to survive? The issue doesn't stop at insulin, EpiPens, cancer medications, and even basic antibiotics have seen massive price hikes in recent years. One infamous example is Martin Shkreli, who raised the price of a life-saving drug by over 5,000%. While Shkreli became the face of pharmaceutical greed, his actions were a symptom of a much larger problem. Many companies quietly increased drug prices year after year, far outpacing inflation. And unlike other countries where governments negotiate drug prices or set caps, the United States allows pharmaceutical companies to set their own prices with little oversight. How did we end up with a system where life-saving drugs are treated like luxury goods? And what about the barriers preventing cheaper alternatives from reaching the people who need them most? Next, let's talk about patents and monopolies. Another tool Big Pharma uses to maintain its grip on the market. When a pharmaceutical company develops a new drug, they're granted a patent, giving them exclusive rights to produce and sell that drug for about 20 years. While patents are supposed to reward innovation, companies often abuse this system through evergreening. This involves making minor tweaks to a drug, like changing its dosage or delivery method to extend their patent and keep cheaper generics off the market. These tactics can delay competition for decades, forcing patients to pay inflated prices. How many lives could be saved if generics were available sooner? And what other underhanded tactics are being used to protect profits at the expense of lives? The power of patents and monopolies in the pharmaceutical industry is immense, shaping the landscape of healthcare and affecting millions of lives. Legal battles and lobbying efforts are often employed to maintain these monopolies, further entrenching the power of Big Pharma. Imagine a world where life-saving medications are accessible to all without the stranglehold of monopolistic practices. It's time to rethink the system and prioritize health over profits. Big Pharma's influence extends far beyond pricing. The industry spends billions of dollars each year on lobbying and campaign contributions, making it one of the most powerful players in Washington, D.C. From blocking legislation to lower drug prices to fighting against Medicare negotiating power, pharmaceutical companies wield enormous political influence. In 2022 alone, Big Pharma spent over $375 million on lobbying, more than any other industry. How can we trust a system where the people making decisions about our health care are heavily funded by the companies profiting from it? And if this influence is so deeply entrenched, what hope is there for meaningful reform? The manipulation of research is another dark corner of the pharmaceutical world. Clinical trials are often funded by the same companies that stand to profit from the results, leading to a clear conflict of interest. In some cases, unfavorable studies are buried, while positive results are selectively published. This skews the scientific narrative and leaves doctors and patients with incomplete information. For example, the opioid crisis was fueled in part by misleading claims about the safety and efficacy of prescription painkillers, claims backed by studies funded by the very companies selling these drugs. How many more crises will it take for us to demand transparency in pharmaceutical research? And is the information we rely on to make health decisions truly unbiased? The stakes are high, and the need for unbiased, transparent research has never been more critical. Time is running out for us to take action and demand accountability from those who hold the power over our health and our wallets. Marketing is yet another weapon in Big Pharma's arsenal. The US and New Zealand are the only two countries that allow direct-to-consumer drug advertising, meaning pharmaceutical companies can market their products directly to you. These ads often portray medications as the key to happiness, health, and a better life, downplaying potential risks and side effects. But these campaigns aren't just about informing the public. They're about driving demand for high-profit drugs, even when cheaper or more effective alternatives are available. How often do we question whether we truly need the medications we're prescribed, or whether we've been influenced by a slick advertising campaign? And could these ads be driving overprescription and the over-medicalization of our lives? The impact of Big Pharma's greed isn't just financial, it's human. Millions of Americans skip doses, ration medications, or forego treatment altogether because they can't afford the prescriptions. Families are forced into debt. Seniors cut pills in half to make them last, and preventable deaths mount. And the problem isn't limited to the US globally. Access to affordable medications remains a critical issue, with developing countries bearing the brunt of the inequities. How do we reconcile the life-saving potential of the pharmaceutical industry with the harm caused by its profit-driven practices? And what would it take to create a system that truly prioritizes human health over corporate wealth? At its core, the problem with Big Pharma is systemic. It's not just about a few bad actors or isolated cases of greed. It's about a system that prioritizes profits over patients. From lobbying and monopolies to marketing and manipulation, The pharmaceutical industry has entrenched itself as a powerful force that's difficult to challenge, but it's not impossible. Efforts to increase transparency, lower drug prices, and hold companies accountable are gaining traction, driven by public outrage and grassroots activism. The question is, will we act before it's too late? And how can ordinary people fight back against such an entrenched system? If this video opened your eyes to the realities of Big Pharma, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Your support helps us uncover the stories they don't want you to know.